If you're someone like me who was born somewhere between the years of 1998 to 2004, you probably have a similar childhood experience with computer games. This was the prime years of Windows XP and Windows 7, so you've got your classics like Minesweeper, Space Cadet Pinball, or even for the OGs, Purple Place. But we're not talking about any of these games, no, because we're going to be talking about a very obscure game that I played as a kid, called Otto's Magic Blocks. Otto's Magic Blocks was released by Wild Tangent Games on August 3rd, 2004, and is one of the few remaining games today by the company, and we'll get more into this later. Now, I started to write down my own description of what the game is about, but then I read the description of the game on the game store page, and I think it speaks for itself. Teach Otto new tricks as you bound through quirky levels. Beware, the magic board is flat, unlike the Earth, so you don't want to leap lazily off the end. Go bonkers and spring towards those power-ups because the bad bugs are out to get you. Uncover secret levels in this Dreamland arcade hit. Watch out for King Frixfrax every 20 levels and look for those magic blocks. Critters like Fuzzabound and Hoverbug are after you, but fun power-ups like Bigfoot and Critter Zapper are there to help. Okay, so that was a lot to take in, so let's break it down a little bit more. Now, I'm not sure what tricks you're meant to teach Otto, as the only controls in the game are moving the intermediate directions relative to your screen and jumping. And yes, the board is indeed flat. But the one thing I found funny in this description is how they give names to the bad characters like Frixfrax and Fuzzabound, as the game literally never mentions or names what these characters are. Now granted, there is no dialogue of any sort, but still. Also, that means that there are literally 5 enemies without names, so I've decided to include some of my own names below. But on a more serious note, there are 100 total levels across the game, and you must change all the blocks to the right color, while every once in a while fighting King Frixfrax. This game has some interesting gimmicks, like there's ice blocks, which glides the player when they step on it. Sometimes blocks fall, and then some levels will have buttons which can enable/disable certain blocks on the map. You can collect treasures like certain foods and riches to earn points, and there's 4 different kinds of power-ups you can collect, like the Critter Zapper, the Bigfoot, the Time Stop, and Invincible. And also, every 5 levels, besides the boss fights, there's a key that'll pop up, and if you get the key, it'll take you to a secret stage. Again, I think it's a pretty simple game to understand as you go, but you may have this question. Why do I even know of this game's existence in the first place? And what's up with this Wild Tangent company that I teased about earlier? But really quickly before we get into this, some of the stuff I might say in this section might not be 100% factual, as research for this topic is very limited and sources might not be super credible. But with that out of the way, let's go. So Wild Tangent Games was founded back in July of 1998 by 2 men named Alex St. John and Jeremy Kenyon. The company has only produced a handful of games in-house, like Otto's Magic Blocks, but one of the company's main focuses was making advert games, which is defined as a game around a company's product or service. Some of these brands included Nike, Coca-Cola, Ford, but nowadays, the vast majority of games on Wild Tangent's catalog come from third-party developers, and the company just serves more of like a storefront for these games. But the majority of games actually made by Wild Tangent have been pulled and discontinued, even lost. But why? Well, unfortunately, there seems to not be a real answer to this question. However, a potential contributing factor may be how the company's games used to contain spyware in them. And the company did get into legal trouble for this, but it's not confirmed if this is a reason for the games being discontinued. LostMediaWiki.com has an extensive list on the condition of the company's games, whether they've been found, lost, or if there's like some kind of like special circumstance. And I recommend you check this website out if you are interested in lost media as a general. The company did make some major partners like Microsoft and Dell and HP. Wild Tangent would have deals with these companies where their games would come pre-installed on their products, which is why I believe I know about this game's existence, because it was pre-installed on the computer I was using so long ago. But here's the thing though. While it is confirmed that Wild Tangent Games had these deals, it is not confirmed that Otto's Magic Blocks was one of these games that came pre-installed. Now, I think it, did come pre-installed, and it's just simply not having enough evidence to support this other than my first-hand experience. But because there's another video game that I also remember playing as a kid from Wild Tangent that I might make into another video, but this is just a very interesting topic overall that I might dive deeper into someday. But until then, the Wild Tangent Games iceberg remains a mystery.